My heritage, I know a hell of a lot of people within the industry. Only yesterday I was called up and I hadn't spoken to a guy for what, 8-9 years. He's went out to pastures and leased his business out, and unfortunately for him that's taken a downturn, and his tenants have gone under, unfortunately. He rang me up yesterday asking me for advice on different things, and then it's materialised, were we interested in looking at his business. So people, know myself, they know Lee. The service stations in general are becoming very, very hard to find now, because they're not being sold predominantly like they were in 2008, when prices were good, and operators, dealers, if you want to call them dealers, realise that if they sell the site, they're not going to make any more money by putting £1 million in the bank, so they may as well operate it and get more money out of it. And that's so it's all word of mouth now as well,
Yeah.
and in networking with retailers.
Yeah.
Ironically, he banks with Lloyds Bank in Gloucester, but we talk to each other quite a lot as well, and I advocate Lloyds Bank with the relationships that I've got, and I also know that he would love to come over to my relationship director, but that is for them to battle that out. My relationship director is a bit of an abnormality, I think, because he's a guru, great guy. He knows our business. He understands what the Platts price is, which is our fuel price that we work off, the benchmark price that we work off. He understands our industry. He's interested in our industry, and he'll come and talk to us about our industry, not just numbers, not just our financials. What are we doing? How are we doing this? And through the years that I've known my relationship director, he's taken a fascination in petrol station retailing, and yeah, I'll be honest with you, I've brought probably 3 or 4 new customers over to Lloyds from Barclays, HSBC and NatWest since I've been trading. But it's great to have a relationship director that wants to come talk to you about the business, understands the business, not just where's your accounts, you haven't done very well this month or whatever. It's he understands it because he's getting into more and more service stations. He benchmarks us, and he can see all the trends, and the trends, hopefully, touch wood, are all coming out the same. They're pretty human at the end of the day. I like that the approachability of everybody in Lloyds, Andy Moss, Mark, Jane Smith, who's Mark's assistant, she's the administration manager. They all know us. We've all been to Colmore Row. We've all got to know them. They've all been down here. Even down, they want to know our business. We've laughed and joked. Mark knows my family. He knows the name of my children, and he knows Karen, which I think goes a real long way. We get a Christmas card off Mark, and vice versa. And it's just that they're human. They're, at the end of the day, they're there. That's their career, and this is my career, and we help each other within our careers, and they're just very, very approachable people. They're not the collar and tie guys that come in here with a briefcase and the long jackets like that used to be. It's straight through the door. Hi, you Stu, how you doing? How's Karen? How's Lee? Where's Lee? He's on his way. He's stuck on the motorway as usual, and we'll have the laugh and the jokes, and then we get down to business. Okay. But it's always how are we doing first? How are we doing? And not straight down into the numbers like other banks have done with us. Is to be strict but sensible about things. I think that's a very, very key matter, to get to know that customer's business, to understand that customer's business from a grassroots, you know, how their business ticks, how do they purchase, how do they, you know, get to understand it, even spend a day or so with that customer, even if they don't understand their fields, you know, not on an analytical basis, but just to understand the fundamentals, get right down to the grassroots to see how it all operates. I think what Lloyd's could do is if they had, I don't know, a seminar or something at a football stadium, providing it wasn't Aston Villa, maybe they could get their forecourt retailers in a conference, you know, and in a network conference. We in the industry we do this speed dating sort of a thing with companies, and maybe, I don't know, we may be able to do a speed dating session or something like that, where there are, you know, we could introduce ourselves and have 5 minutes and me tell you about what my business is about, where I'm located and what my turnovers are, my volumes and so forth, and vice versa, you know, and swap a business card and things like that, so we could network. I think that would be very, very interesting, because at the end of the day there you could be speaking to somebody that's, I don't know, that's a jet operator who might have a couple of good sites, who's might looking out for an exit, where we could be at the end of the day looking to purchase them if they were a viable proposition, and vice versa. Personally, he knows nothing about football, so I influence him about Manchester United. No, what I like about Mark personally is I can pick the phone up now, leave Mark a message, and he'll get back to me. And we talk. We're not mates. Mates is not the word, but I can talk to him as though I talk to him as though I've known him forever, you know. And you can talk to Mark, and he's just a great all-round guy, you know. He knows a lot about everything, and I've always said to anybody about Mark, whatever you want from Mark, yeah, make sure you know what you're on about, even if you've designed a widget, because tomorrow Mark will go out and find out a lot more about that widget that you've just designed than you know yourself. And I've always said that about him. He's always interested in seeing what other people are doing, and everything. He knows about everything, which is perhaps he's got a lot of time on his hands, I don't know.